We expect the worst from our favorite franchises as they migrate to iOS and Android devices. Short on resources, the developers make do with the many limitations that burden these devices. Alien vs Predator Evolution dips its chip into the spicy app-based salsa, showcasing some impressive graphics and the iconic sci-fi creatures we know and love. With several memorable video games under their belt, are these iconic creatures adding another excellent bullet point to their gaming resume, or do the many flaws of iOS and Android devices corrode the overall experience? AvP Evolution's narrative follows each species in a parallel structured campaign. Jumping from Alien to Predator, it allows the player to view each species' perspective on the unfolding plot points. In the constant power struggle between super predators and jungle hunters, the super predators devise a plan to control the xenomorphs by capturing a queen. While attempting to do so, a fallen member of the jungle hunters sends a distress call to his clan members. With honor at stake, a jungle hunter takes up arms to stop the super predator's scheme. On the other end, escaping the binds of Weyland Yutani's experiments, a Xenolab specimen begins its metamorphosis from facehugger to adulthood and fights to free his queen. The idea of having both species with a common enemy is appealing. Instead of the humans being the links to both species, the super predators feel to slaughter the bad guy. Uncommon in most app games, Evolution plates out a decent, though not exactly engrossing narrative. It does make a strong first impression on the game's opening moments. With narrative almost always taking a backseat in most app games, gameplay is what keeps players coming back. As always, the limitations of touch controls are at the pinnacle of Evolution's food chain of flaws. With the same button controlling dashing, blocking, and secondary melee, combat makes you feel like a wounded animal. Frame rate issues combined with time-based attacks have you asking for light attacks but responding with heavy. The rage ensued after failing again and again will have you begging for a self-destruct button. It may sound minor, but these details punish the experience. With the major emphasis on upgrades, the combat doesn't quite shine until the major purchases are made. After completing a level, you receive either honor or Xeno points. With these points, you are able to upgrade each class. As Predators, you purchase new armors, blades, sticks, and whips from a rather extensive selection. Upgrades from the aliens aren't as robust, given their reliance on natural defenses and close-quarter combat rather than tools or weapons. Where Evolution shoots itself on the foot is the amount of points received per level. It's downright laughable, and many who purchase the game will not find themselves taking the time to upgrade. It takes an absurd amount of time to farm points for upgrades, and without the upgrades, combat isn't very enjoyable, and the game becomes extremely difficult. Despite being an app that you pay for, silly microtransactions are available to take the tedium out of the experience by allowing you to pay real money for upgrades. Being forced to cough up more cash or engage in level grinding will be cause for many to give up on the game. AvP's fundamentals are solid, but spoiled by miserable design choices. Frame rate issues aside, Alien vs Predator Evolution is a graphical beauty. Armor is detailed and authentic, environments may not be as complete, but they establish the AvP mood and atmosphere. And this is all complemented by an amazing soundtrack that fits perfectly within the universe. Character animations are stiff, but do well enough to establish each species' physical characteristics. Executions are fun at first, but wear thin quickly as they become a strategic novelty. Boss battles are uninspired, with little strategy involved, and the available trial missions become your major source of income. All in all, Alien vs Predator has a lot going for it, but a few disastrous design choices and technical issues spoil it. If you're willing to put in the time, the end result is still not worth it. The experience wears itself out long before you grind your way to the last upgrade. Recent updates have lightened the difficulty of many of the tougher levels, but the developer should have made upgrades more accessible. Instead of looking for a quick buck through microtransactions, the economy should have been optimized for a single continuous playthrough, and $1 or $2 tacked onto the asking price. Their greed makes an otherwise enjoyable experience an exercise in self-hatred. Evolution's developer deserves nothing less than a makeout session with a facehugger for ruining this game with silly design choices.